Georgia, in the world headquarters. All right, here we are in Atlanta, Georgia. Got one of the biggest governor's races, not just in the country, but in American history going on. Hey, Shelby.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
All right. Hey guys, how are you?
How are you?
Hey.
Welcome.
Perry, why do you like Stacey Abrams?
Oh, I don't just like her, I love her.
Why?
She sees people as individuals and understanding the struggle from poverty, getting an education for herself, her faith, and just her ability to be relatable was eye-opening and encouraging. That I was like, okay, I need to insert myself in this in whatever way possible because she's it.
Christian, what appeals to you about Mr. Kemp?
Well, Brian Kemp is a strong constitutional conservative. He appreciates the Constitution. He wants to protect the Second Amendment. He wants to lower taxes, and he's also very strong on illegal immigration.
I know there's a big conflict going on in this state. Brian Kemp was the Secretary of State. He was accused of knocking off a bunch of African Americans from the voter rolls. He said, look, I'm trying to prevent voter fraud. Does that bother you, Christian?
Not really. I think what bothers me a lot more is illegal immigrants voting and going ahead and practicing a constitutional right that is not theirs.
I'm really uncomfortable with the language of referring to people as illegals because humans aren't illegal.
Well, I use the term illegal. I mean, Bill Clinton used it in 1994.
You love Bill Clinton? You want to do everything he does?
No.
Okay, just making sure. So,
I don't really have time for political correctness because you're sugarcoating the issue. These are people that came here illegally, and that is a big issue.
you know, Brian Kemp seems to be like a local version of a Donald Trump. Are you happy that you got kind of like a local Trump running?
Oh yeah, it's great. I love it.
Why?
But I mean, you know, there's that going on. But look, there's certain things that you do to win elections. He's been a bit provocative just because he has to win. He had to win the primary.
Isn't that what they said about Trump? That Trump's just being provocative, and then he got in there, he's still being provocative.
Well, I don't think Brian Kemp is like Trump that way. I mean,
How did you wind up as a moderate seeming, independent seeming person pulling the lever for Donald Trump?
Yeah, you know, even in that election, I had a very difficult time choosing. And what it came down to for me was Supreme Court seats. I feel like this is like a lot of the elections that we've seen across the last year. It's very polarizing. The middle is kind of getting lost. And I often find myself in these situations thinking if we could blend aspects of the two candidates, I'd be great.
Do you believe that Stacey Abrams is actually lighting some fire among just ordinary black voters?
Yes. Yes. I think that because people of color aren't used to seeing their faces in every day on the television and in positive ways, I think that it absolutely activates us in a way to feel more included in life and to not feel so discarded and ignored.
I think that it could actually come back to bite you. I mean, if you take a look at black unemployment in this country, lowest ever in our country. So that has a lot to do with President Trump. So you could be energizing people on the grassroots level to go out and vote, but they may not vote Democrat. They may vote Republican.
What's the case for supporting Democrats if you're black now?
I think because the face feels new. Because I think that our country is different. I think our needs are different.
So it's just for you, it's just racial symbolism?
No, it's oh my God, that sounds terrible. That I'm so much more than just black. I'm very proud to be black. But I think that same question with being a woman. It seems like it's a rise and an upheaval of something new and different. I think that's legitimate. I think that not just being a woman, but being a black woman is a game changer.
Well, what difference does it make the identity of the candidate, though? You know, who cares if the person's black or if it's white or if it's a male or female or whatever?
Well, that's part of white privilege. My race, as well as my gender identity, my everyday decisions in my world. It's who I am.
Well, I think each and every one of us are privileged to be in this country, regardless of race.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Stone Mountain Park. Oh, I'm super nervous about coming here.
Why?
The etching in stone is a monument to domestic terrorism.
Why do you say that?
It's a celebration of Confederacy. It's a reminder to black people that we should have never been freed. I'm actually shaking right now.
That makes me so sad because
Yeah.
I don't identify with it that way. But coming here, I think of all the times with my father, my family. And so this seems like a happy place. To hear that it's hurtful
I can
to
appreciate
you.
that. If I didn't have my seatbelt on, I would hug you.
It makes me sad that's the impact it has on you, but this is a place where I have really happy memories. I could never sit in your shoes, but I don't view the carving that way.
How do you view it? I mean,
KKK rallies were here for a reason. It feels like a threat. It feels like a consistent and looming, hard granite, solid threat.
Christian, how do you think about this sort of period of our history and how it's celebrated or not? Stacey Abrams says she wants to get rid of Stone Mountain.
Well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of the Civil War. I used to be a Civil War reenactor, actually for the Union. So, and I have to tell you that I 100% agree from both of your stances on this, and I understand where you're coming from, absolutely. But there are lots of people here in Georgia whose ancestors fought in the war. They died for their cause, and I have to tell you, a lot of those people disagree with why their ancestors fought, but nonetheless, their ancestors died for the cause, and this is what these statues are meant to commemorate.
The integration and of
See,
the North and South.
There's a Confederate flag on that guy's jacket right now. And that
yeah.
I see that as a threat. Like my heart is racing. I don't feel safe.
Do you think that he is wearing that jacket because he hates black people, or is it would hurt you?
That's what that symbol means to me. Yeah. There's a lot of power in that symbol. There's a lot of history in that symbol. There's a lot of blood and hatred in that symbol. And I feel it.
Does this whole conversation motivate some voter turnout on your side? A sense that things that are important are under siege, that a history might get erased?
Well, there is, on the ground, there's a little bit of concern for sure, because, as I said, a lot of people are concerned that these are monuments that represent their ancestors, and they could be taken away. I don't know what it's like to be black in this country, or racism. I'm not going to pretend that I do, but that's all I can tell you through my experience, what that means to some people.
I think the fact that we're even having these questions and having these conversations and wanting to know more and wanting to hear the other side, that's where we start.